What's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Winnipeg Jets franchise mode here in NHL 24. So it's been a bit since I've recorded an episode for the series, so I honestly don't remember what happened too much. Okay, as I was saying in the last episode, we took on the Arizona Coyotes. All I really remember is that we beat them in 7 games, but I don't remember necessarily of what exactly happened in that series because it's been like a few weeks since I've recorded an episode, like I said. So yeah, looks like it was back and forth a little bit early on where we lost 2 games in the first 3. Then we had one to tie the series up. It went like back and forth basically until game 7. So we kind of got a little bit lucky that we were able to pull it off. And now we're going to be taking on a tougher St. Louis Blues team, I would say, than the Arizona Coyotes, because the fact that this Blues team hasn't gotten out of like the second round or whatever it's been is kind of insane. I remember the St. Louis Blues team, like they've had no playoff success. They've had some good regular season success and some really good players, but they just haven't been able to get it done. So it's going to be interesting to see if we could manage to beat them, or if they're going to be one of this might be one of their only times that they get to the conference finals or the cup finals if they're able to get past us. Now let's take a look at our player stats from that first round of the playoffs, because I don't remember either, and I just want to take a look at who was actually doing good again. And looks like it was Calvusari leading the way. We do have some minuses on this team, so it's a little bit worrisome, but I do really like the depth scoring, it looks like, that we got. Hopefully guys like Vandermeer, though, are a little bit better in that second round. Obviously, 3 points is not bad in 7 games, but obviously being a -3 isn't too good, so hopefully some of these other guys keep going a little bit more. Aiden Irving only played 3 games, had 2 points, so hopefully he's ready to go for the next round. Actually, he was injured, I think, near the end of the season, came back in the middle of the playoffs because we took Kang back out. Kang was fantastic when he did play, though. 4 assists in 4 games, so I'm hoping that obviously we get more production from other guys, so if we can, and we get better plus minuses, because like Waters being a -6, Roloff being a -6 in that first round definitely screams like to me like we could be out in the second round quite easily. Also, Maximus Nash wasn't really the best based on his numbers, and Kalinin was actually pretty good in his only start, so maybe there is a chance that, actually, no, Kalinin came back from injury, didn't he? And we had to start with Maximus Nash. I think that's what it was, if I remember right. You guys probably know, obviously, because it wasn't too long ago that you guys saw the last episode, but I remember right, Kalinin came back and played his first game, which was game 7, and he won. Maximus Nash played the first 6. I think that's exactly what happened. Yeah, I think that's what happened. So, yeah, very excited anyways to see what ends up happening with us in this second round and see if we could find ourselves back in that conference finals yet again, because this could be Aiden Irving's last game or last series if he does decide to retire. Now, we are also very close to the end of NHL 24, so NHL 25 is kind of like only like a month away around, which is kind of insane that it's like that. So there won't be too much left of the series anyways, so we will probably still try and wrap up the 25 years unless we want to do still a college football series. But anyways, first and foremost, let's get to your guys' comments now and see what you guys have to say about last episode. And then we will finally get into this for second round. I almost said first round again. Damn, man, I'm still in like tired vacation mode, it seems like. Anyways, the first comment is from Saturn Taco. Says, a little too close for comfort here, which is why I expect the next round to be a blowout either way. So he's saying that the last series was so close that this series will probably be a blowout for either team, which I totally agree with, because I feel like when you win, like almost coming back into a game 7 after you were down, say 3-2 in the series, then the next series ends relatively quick. And honestly, it could be we getting swept because we have some bad plus minuses, or maybe we're going to sweep the St. Louis Blues or win in like 5 games or something along those lines. Like, I can't see this series going to 6 or 7 games, even though both teams look really good. So it will be interesting to see what ends up happening. And last and final comment is from Michael Dose, who says, don't really meet up with St. Louis too much in the playoffs, so it should be an interesting series. And yeah, that's true. We don't really play them that often. They have made the playoffs, like I said, a couple times, but they haven't been able to capitalize on a very good top line of theirs, which I do remember it at least. So that's something I remember in the last 3 weeks. But this top line of Rosehill, Eckford, and Lashoff has been together for a long time. All these guys are in their 30s, yet they have never been super far in the playoffs before. As you can see, their furthest run was when they went 13 games in 2040, which I believe we might have been the team to knock them out that year. It might have been a different team. I can't remember exactly, but I know that we were in the 2040 playoffs. But you can see Rosehill, that was his most games he's ever played in the playoffs, and he's been playing for quite a long time, so that's kind of interesting. They also do have a good second liner in Gavin Weeks, but he's also kind of more of an aggressive player. Does pick up some good points, but he's also very aggressive, so he might be kind of the type of player that kind of gets him into a little bit of trouble. Like, he had 7 penalty minutes in 6 games in the first round, which isn't too bad, but you can see in the past he's picked up like 28 penalty minutes, so he could be costing him a bit and give us a chance to get our power play out there, which is nice. The rest of their team is kind of a bunch of misfits, but honestly, when you have those top guys, you don't really need too much more on the offensive side of things. Their defense is also relatively strong. They got a couple good 85s. Like, the left side's definitely better than the right side. Ovechkin's not bad, but still, their defensive core is kind of like a work in progress, I'd say. And then their goaltending, they do have some okay goaltending, but it's not the most insane thing. Who knows, maybe these guys are cheese goalies, but I'm hoping that's not the case. But anyways, that is that. So I think we're ready to get into this second round and see if our team could get to the conference finals. Again, if we do find ourselves in the conference finals, we could be playing the Ducks, we could be playing the Wild. All right, let's get to game number 1. Obviously, we have home ice advantage, which is pretty damn awesome. Hopefully, we can use it to our advantage and get going a bit here. And like I said, hopefully the team can play a little bit better defensively than they had did in the first round, because that would be really, really good. So here we go, game number 1 of round number 2. Let's see if we could get some wins here. Because like I said, this is the first episode of the Jet series I've recorded in like 3 weeks, so hopefully we do relatively well in it. So first period of game number 1. And it's 1-1. I'll take that. I guess Gavin Weeks opens the scoring for them, so that's that grindy guy. He scores on Kalinin. Harrison scores for us. Nice to see Harrison chipping in with a goal. Shots are 12-10 in favor of us after 1. Can we find a way to get that lead? Because obviously they scored first in this game. We only answered back 8 seconds later. That's actually kind of insane. I didn't realize how close those goals were. So literally they scored pretty much right off the faceoff. I guess Harrison went down the ice, sniped one in. We'll have to see it. See what happens in the second period. See if we could grab that lead. Second period. There we go. 2-1. Aiden Irving. Let's go. The first goal back to see Aiden Irving scoring. It was an early goal in the period too. Only 57 seconds in. We're out shooting him 29-15 now. So we only scored 1 goal in that period, but we completely dominated the flow of that second period. Let's see if we could find a way to get some insurance in period 3 and lock down game 1. Come on, boys. Let's get her done. Power play for us. Might be weeks in the box. We do not score on it. Come on, guys. Power play again for us. Come on, boys. You got this. We don't score again. Our power play is struggling a little bit here in game 1, but that's okay. Hopefully it finds itself at some point. Final few minutes of game number 1. And we do get the empty netter with 4 seconds left, and it's once again the captain, Aiden Irving. So we win game 1 by a score of 3-1, out shooting him 46-28. And we have taken our first game of the series, which is really nice. Good way to start it off. Good defensive play in that game. And also we got the offense that we wanted. Not too much scoring in that game, but obviously the defensive play is something we needed to fix first and foremost. So Weeks scored for them, and then Harrison scores from Bohms and Waters. Irving scores from Roloff and Vernarski, and Irving scores from Holmquist and Roloff. So Roloff, the former Coyote, picking up a couple points in that game. Holmquist picking up a point, which is nice to see again, because obviously we traded away Walter, I think it was a couple episodes ago, and Holmquist was the guy that got called up, and he's been great since, so been very happy with that call-up. Irving the first star, Christensen for them gets second star, and then Kalinin the third star for us. So Kalinin off to a pretty good start since coming back from his injury, because I'm pretty sure he did get injured, and then we had to rely on Nash for a little bit of that first round. All right, so it is a 1-0 series lead for us. I think we got to keep the team the exact same after a game like that. Like, that's kind of a textbook first game. Obviously, the offense isn't super high flying, but we want to have good defensive games. And over the last 3 games, we've been pretty good defensively. Obviously, the 6-4 loss that we had against the Coyotes has been kind of hindering us defensively a little bit. So if we could have multiple good defensive games in a row, we are at least trending in the right direction. Let's get to game number 2 and keep the team the same. If we lose this game badly somehow, we might make some adjustments, but obviously it depends on how good or how bad certain players are doing in that one. But here we go. We're still on home ice. Let's see if we could take both these games. First period of game number 2. 2 on us. Good start for the offense. Gavin Weeks opens the scoring again for the Blues, so Gavin Weeks has our number right now, but Blunden has other answers as he scores 2 goals, one with 8:21 left and one in the final minute of that first period. So good start for Blunden. I like that he was leading our team in that first round, pretty much him and Kavusari, so he's off to a good start here in round number 2 as well. Shots are 16-8, so we are doubling them up in shots and also on goals, but obviously it's only a 1-goal lead, so it's not very much of a safe lead at that. So we need to add some insurance. Can we do that in the second period? Second period? Ooh, they tie it up. That's not great. The first time they've scored 2 goals in the series is Ovechkin, the defenseman, scores. Shots are 26-21 in favor of us, so shots are pretty even. Goals are even. It's pretty much anybody's game going forward into this final 20 minutes. Let's see if we could find a way to get that lead back. Obviously, it would be nice to get it, so we need to get more chances on goal because I don't think we had as much chances in that second period, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see what happens in period number 3. See if we could find a way to get that lead. We do immediately. Bulbrook in the first minute of this third period, but Finley answers back for the Blues. This is a very back and forth game at the moment. Come on, guys. Let's get that fourth one. Let's get that fourth one. We're into the final 10 minutes of this third period. Still tied at 3. Power play for us. We do not score. Final few minutes. Oh, no. Griffith scores for the Blues, and Ovechkin gets the empty netter, and Kavanaugh gets an empty netter. Wow, okay. This is kind of an outlier game. It was a lot closer than the score dictates, but we do lose 6-3, which is not exactly what I wanted to see after we had that 3-2 lead. We gave up 4 unanswered goals. Like, these 2 goals weren't that bad. They took only a 4-3 lead, but then giving up 2 empty net goals kind of sucks. Kind of sucks. So, not a great game for our defensive play in that one, I feel like. We had a good first period, and the second period was okay too, but that third period we kind of fell apart. So, Blunden from Bickle and Bulbrook, and then you have Blunden from Vandermeer and Bickle, and Bulbrook from Bickle and Kress. So it seems like the same line was doing most of the offense for our team. Yeah. And then if you go to plus minus, Ekholm was a -4. That's not what I want to see from a top line center. And Kalinin, yeah, definitely had a little bit of a tough game here. I'll probably keep with Kalinin because he's been relatively good, but we obviously need to make our offense getting a little bit better here. Because if Ekholm's not going to pick up a single point and be -4, that's not great. That's not great for our offense. Speaking of offense, DePenta's been injured with an injured foot, and he'll be out till May 9th, which is not too long term, but it does suck. He will be back for a Game 5 scenario, which is definitely going to happen, so at least he will be back in the series, but like I said, a little bit of a blow to our defensive core in terms of offensive boosts. We are probably going to make some adjustments to our lines in general. I forgot that we have a franchise guy. I honestly forgot we had Marsh. He has not been good so far, so that's probably why I have not really recognized him too much out here. What we're going to do is we're going to go with Blunden on the top line. Marsh is going to get a little bit of a downgrade to the second line, and I am going to move Bickle to the top line, Ekholm down. So it's Marsh, Ekholm, Bulbrook, and then the rest of this will probably stay the same. I could move Aiden Irving to the fourth line, but he has been one of our better players against the Blues so far. Clarkson is the one that's coming in, or was it Zykov? It's Zykov. Zykov played 58 games with us, had 20 points, has not played a single playoff game yet. He will draw back into the playoffs with DePenta's injury, which is not too bad. Kang was actually pretty good. I should maybe get Kang back in, but I honestly have no idea where I could slot him in. He is losing morale, which really sucks, but it is what it is. I would rather have Aiden Irving in the lineup, I think. So we'll keep it like that, and I think it's pretty much all we need to do in terms of adjustments. Now, our power play has been struggling a bit, but it's got all the skill in the world to do well, so I feel like it should be able to start capitalizing soon. Yeah, I think it should be able to eventually capitalize. So anyways, we'll keep it like that and see if our team's able to respond, because obviously now we have 2 games in St. Louis. We need to take at least one of these 2, or else we'll be in a bad spot considering they took one of our own home games. So hopefully we could take one on the road. How have we been on the road so far this playoffs? An OT win, a win there. So we had 2 wins on the road so far, which is not bad. So we can win on the road. Hopefully we could do so in Game 3 as well. Let's see what happens. May the 5th, 2042. Jeez. Way into the future. Can we find a way to respond after the last game? First period of Game 3. And it's scoreless. I mean, I'll take it, but our offense is definitely a little quiet. Considering last game we scored 2 goals in the first period. We scored 1 goal in the third period. So we've only been able to score 1 goal in the last 2 periods, which is okay. But obviously it's starting to show that our offense might be going from here to going like, dropping off. Shots 10-10, scoreless after the first period as well. So we're basically even with the Blues at the moment. We just need to find a way to contain their top line from trying to overtake this game, and we need our top lines to overtake this game if possible. Second period. 3-2. Okay, a lot of offense in that period, and we started off Aiden Irving early on, which is great to see. Like I said, that's why I keep him in the lineup. Then we had Bryson Waters score to make it 2-0. Benak scores to make it 2-1, so he gets the Blues within 1. Blunden scores a power play goal to restore that 2-0 advantage, but that late goal from Goldobin has got the Blues back within 1 again. I don't like that they're kind of hanging around here. Shots are 25-18 in favor of us. It's a 3-2 lead. Can we get some insurance to make me feel a bit safer? Because I feel like they are on the cusp of potentially tying this game up. Let's see what happens in period 3. Come on, guys. Let's get some insurance and lock this game down. Let's go. There's Marsh. We have not seen him in a while, and he scores, but Lashoff pulls the Blues again within 1. Roloff gets a goal. Let's go, Roloff. That rolls off the tongue pretty nicely. Ha, ha, ha. It's a 5-3 game. Final 5 minutes. We're still up by 2 goals. It looks like we are going to be able to take the first game in St. Louis and take a 2-1 series lead. Final shots 44-29, so we definitely outplayed them, but it was still pretty close, just like last game kind of was, except for the empty net goals. Let's take a look at these stats here. Irving from Vernarski and Holmquist, and we had Waters from Harrison. Then we had Blunden from Holmquist and Irving. We had Marsh's second goal of the playoffs. Nice to see him back on the board from Ekholm, and Roloff from Kabusari in Blunden. Nice. Good to see our offense going a little bit more here. Aiden Irving gets first star of the game, Blunden the second star, and Marsh the third star. That's a good game from Marsh. That's what we need from our franchise guy. 1 goal and 4 hits. I almost forgot, though, that we literally had a franchise player. That's kind of crazy that I almost forgot we had him. Within those last 3 weeks that I didn't record, and just all of a sudden, for some reason, I forgot certain players on this team. Like, I forgot that we let go of Jaquezie last offseason as well. Like, I'm just, like, completely out of the loop, it seems like. But anyways, 2-1 series lead. We have a chance to potentially take both games in St. Louis if we could find a win here. So let's keep the team the same. Hope that we could get another win in St. Louis. If we do, then maybe we have a chance to close the series out on our home ice, which would be great. Minnesota's up 3-0 on Anaheim right now, which is kind of crazy. So Anaheim, who I believe won the cup last year, they definitely won their first cup recently. Might be out in the second round. Ottawa might be going to the conference finals. They are only up 2-1, so that's still kind of close. But the Rangers look like they're guaranteeing themselves a spot in the conference finals. The Rangers have been a really good team, if I remember, as of late. So doesn't make too much, or does make a lot of sense that they're actually in that position. Anyways, let's get to Game 4. See if we could take a 3-1 series lead here. If not, it is going to be maybe another best-of-3 scenario where it could go to a Game 7 again. You never know. First period of Game 4. Scoreless again. Similar period to first period to last game. Last game, it was the first period was scoreless and shots were 10-10. This time it's 12-10. So we do have the shot advantage by a little bit, but both goalies playing good in that opening period, just like they did last game. Who will be the team to break the deadlock? Last time it was it was us that scored first in that second period, but it was 3-2 after no goals in that first period. So it could be an explosive second period here potentially, depending on what this game wants to throw at us. So let's see, can we find a way to score some goals in period number 2? Second period. 2-2. It is an explosive period again. We do score first again. Bulbrook, and then Weeks ties it up for them less than a minute later. Eckford scores for them, so they actually had the lead momentarily on a power play goal. And then Bickle will tie the game up late in that that second period to give us a 2-2 game. Shots are still in our advantage, 21-19, but it is an even game. Both teams have similar shots and goals, so it's anybody's game going forward. They did have the lead, though, so I'm hoping that means our team is going to score next. Let's see what happens in period 3. Come on, boys. Let's get that lead. Let's get that lead. Keeping scores for the Blues to give them a 3-2 lead. Do we have a response? Yes, we do. It's Will Vandermeer. Let's go. 3-3 game. Love to see it. So a couple defenders scoring in the third period for either team. Final 5 minutes of period number 3. Are we going to overtime for the first time in the series? Yes, we are. Okay. We haven't been doing overtime since the first round, so I honestly don't remember how good we are in overtime series. I think we're like 1-1 or something like that. But it's a 3-3 game. Shots are very even, 32-31. It's literally anybody's game at this point. It's just all about who wants to be that hero and show up. Who do we want to call upon in overtime? I'm feeling like Marsh maybe has a goal in him again, considering he scored last game. Maybe he could start to get going because of that, but honestly, I have no idea. I wouldn't be surprised if Holmquist scored either, because I feel like Holmquist might be a little bit of a clutch player, but honestly, I have no idea. So let's see what happens in overtime. Can we take a 3-1 series lead, or will it be tied going back home? Come on, guys. This is a big overtime. We just need to find a way to score that next goal. Oh, man. The Blues score, and it's lash off one of their better players. And unfortunately, despite the shots being even, we do fall by 1 goal, 4-3. That's a pretty bad one to lose, but at least it's still a tie series. It's good that we won the last game, because or else we'd be down 3-1 at this point. So still anybody's series at this point in time. So Bulbrook from Vandermeer and Ekholm, Bickle from Blunden and Kabusari, and Vandermeer from Roloff in Blunden. Unfortunately for us, it was a pretty back and forth one where we scored, they scored, we scored, they scored, we scored, and then they scored. And we could not answer, of course, considering it was overtime. So Lashoff first star, Rosehill second star, Eckford the third star. So their top line took over in that game, and that's exactly what you want if you're a St. Louis Blues fan. So that's not great. We do not want that top line to dictate games going forward. DePenta's back, so that's nice. So we'll get him back in. Maybe that could be a little bit of boosts for our defensive core. Zykov so far had a fight in 2 games, but he did not pick up any points. That's kind of funny that he had a fight and he only played a few games. So DePenta's back in, so we'll see if that could help out our offense a little bit. And aside from that, I think we ought to keep the rest of this team the same, because there's not really much else I could do in terms of adjustments. Hopefully Aiden Irving could keep goal scoring, because he's been pretty good in the series at this point. Like, he's scoring a lot of goals against the Blues. He's been probably one of the better players in this series. All right, well, let's get to the next game. Obviously, the last game was close, so I'm going to keep it the same. If we lose this game again, though, I might make some adjustments, because it's going to be another series where we'd have to win 2 in a row if we do lose this game. So hopefully we don't. We are on home ice, so we should be able to use it to our advantage, but if anything happens, we need to maybe win 2 games in a row, which would not be good. So let's see what happens. Game number 5. Do we have a response with DePensa being back in the lineup after he was injured for a little bit? First period, game 5. Scoreless again, and very similar shot totals, okay? 13-12, so a little bit more shots than there was in the prior game. We had 12 shots in the first period last game and 10 in the game before that. We do have the exact same amount of shots for us, but the Blues had more chances in that first period than they have in the last 2 games in that first period as well. So even first period, but it's still anybody's game, just like the last few games. It's been pretty similar. So there is a chance that the second period could have a lot of goals in it again, just like the last 2 games, because the last 2 games there's been a total of 9 goals in those 2 periods. So it will be interesting to see if this kind of stays more of a defensive game or if it's going to be similar to the last 2 games. Second period. 3-0 us. That's a great period from this team. Marsh opens the scoring. I like that I called on him and he's now all of a sudden doing good. Bulbrook scores and Ekholm scores to give us a 3-0 lead. We are out shooting now 27-20. So that was a great second period from our team. And now we just need to lock it down for 20 minutes and not blow this. So let's play good defensively. And it will be 1 win away from a chance to, well, actually, 1 win away from the conference finals, I'd say, if we actually could get this done. So let's see what happens. Third period, still up by 3 goals. So this is a big hill to climb if you're a St. Louis Blues fan. I don't think they'll come back. I think we could lock it down. Ekholm makes it 4-0. That's probably the dagger. At this point, Ekholm gets the hat trick. He has been kind of struggling as of late, but a hat trick in this game is exactly what you want from a guy that was playing on the top line. Blunden makes it 6-0. I don't think we need to score this much goals, guys, considering we still need to win one more game, but we do get a 6-0 shutout, outshooting them 45-27, even though they outshot us after the first period. So that's a great game, great offense, and also some great defensive play. So we had Marsh from Ekholm and DePenta, Bulbrook from Vandermeer and Ekholm from Marsh and Bulbrook, Ekholm from Bickle, and Blunden from Bickle and Kabusari. So Ekholm had a 5-point night, if I'm not mistaken. Marsh had maybe one of his best games of his career with 3 points, I think. And then Bulbrook had a couple points as well. So that line did really well. And that's exactly what you need from a line like that. Yeah, so Ekholm 5 points, Marsh 3 points, Bulbrook 2 points, Bickle 2 points. A couple guys on 1 point. But yeah, Ekholm and Marsh were the story in that game. We demoted Ekholm and Marsh to the second line. So maybe that's what they needed, is a little bit of recuperating. And Kalinin picking up a nice 27 save shutout is also very nice. So Ekholm first star, Marsh second star, and Kalinin the third star of the game. So big game from Mr. Ekholm. Hopefully he continues to go on a roll after that game. We just need to win one more, and then we could find ourselves in the conference finals. Looks like the Ducks are trying to come back on the Wild now. All of a sudden they are down 3-2. Ottawa's up 3-2 on the Islanders, and the Rangers have eliminated the Blue Jackets. So the Rangers will be going to the conference finals. They could play their other New York counterpart if Ottawa is to fall apart. Interesting. I think we got to keep the team the same after a game like that. I think we got to. So can we close out the Blues in their home building, or are we going to another Game 7 scenario? Come on, guys. Let's keep being consistent if we can. Because consistency is what wins you Stanley Cups. It's not about the inconsistency. First period, Game 6. That's not very consistent. We are outshooting them 14-8, which is a good sign that our team is at least getting chances, but it's also a good sign for the Blues that their goaltender's on his game this time around after giving up so much last game. As Lashoff and Eckford score, so that's their top line again. The Blues, always when they start to crumble, they rely on their top line, and their top line can get them big wins. So this is not great. It would be nice if we could find a way to respond with 2 goals of our own in the second period, considering we have done that in the past. So I am hoping that we could find a way to get a little bit back into this game, because obviously if they score another one, it's going to be the same outcome as last game where we were up 3-0 going into the third period. Pretty much it's almost like an impossible hill to climb. Can we get back into this game in period 2? Second period, 3-1. I mean, we do get a goal. Eckford made it 3-0. Holmquist pulls us within 2 again. So at least we're still in this game, but we are out shooting them 27-16, yet it's a 3-1 game for them. So this is kind of one of those games that you should be winning, but you're not. Kalinin hasn't been good so far, and our offense has not been able to capitalize a lot too. So we need a strong third period here, or else we're going to our second Game 7 already, which would not be good. Let's see what happens in period number 3. Come on, guys. Let's get another one. If we could get one early, we have a chance. So just got to hope that we could get one here in these first 10 minutes, maybe. Come on, guys. We're not finding our goal scorer, and that's not good. Final 5 minutes, still down by a pair of goals. Yeah, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And unfortunately, we are going to lose 3-1 in Game 6, which means no offense whatsoever. That's what I was saying when we were winning 6-0 in that last game. We need to be able to score that in the next game as well. There's no consistency in this team in that sense. It was another good defensive game, I'd say, because 3 goals against is not bad. But to score 1 goal after you score 6 is not consistent. So we got to find a way to be a little bit better in that department. So our only goal was Holmquist from Vandermeer and Vernarski. And unfortunately, Christensen had one of his best games, and their top line went to work. Like I said, if we contain that top line, we could easily get to the next round. But that top line has definitely shown up when the Blues need it the most. So we go to another Game 7, which means I might make some adjustments considering this is Game 7. Blunden has been one of our best players so far here in his playoff runs. So, trying to think what we want to do here. Kawasari in this series has been kind of quiet compared to last round. Let's go with Ekholm back on the top line, Bickle back down. Is there any badly minus players on this bottom six? Ugh. Couple. There's a couple bad. Oh, man, that fourth line is actually kind of getting wrecked. I don't want to scratch Waters, but I might honestly do it. You know what? We're going to scratch Waters for just one game, just because he has been a defensive liability. And Kang will come in just to try and clean things up defensively a bit. And aside from that, what about defensive pairings? Is there any badly minus defensive pairings? Not really. Not really. Okay. And Kalinin has been our better goalie. So we'll rock with Kalinin still. But if we lose this game, Aiden Irving could be retiring, which is not good. So we need to find a way to win this one. If Aiden Irving retires, though, at the same time, we will free up a lot of cap space. But obviously, he's our franchise guy. If he retires, basically the next one to take over a spot is Marsh. And Marsh is already obviously in the NHL, but he's probably the next one that will score a lot of goals for us down the road. But is this the last game of Aiden Irving's career? Hopefully not. It's on home ice, so at least that's kind of nice that he can maybe get one final send-off to the fans. But let's see what happens here. Game 7, it's going to be a real-time simulation. Can we find ourselves in the conference finals against the Minnesota Wilds? Or will we be falling apart here in the 7th game? Come on, guys. Don't give the Blues anything. Don't give them anything. I know they have a good top line, but let's shut that line down, okay? Let's get Aiden Irving going. Let's get Marsh going. All those type of guys. Come on, guys. I believe in us. We've been a championship team so many times in the series that I believe this team has it in them to win more. It just all depends if we could score more goals here. The Blues open to scoring. That's not ideal, and they score another goal in the 26 seconds later. Wow. I thought we were going to be down 1-0 after 1, which would not have been bad, but the fact we give up another goal within 20-something seconds later, it looks like we might be out in Game 7 unless we have a good second period where we could score 2 goals. Shots are even, but we are down by 2 goals. Kalinin maybe off to his worst start of a game, which is not good. Oh boy, that's not good at all. How do we give up 2 goals in 26 seconds? This team might be just like, maybe they're just too offensively minded. I honestly don't know. I tried to balance it out, though, but it's a little bit not good. It's a little bit not good. Let's see what happens, see if we can respond in the second period. If we give them any more goals, there's a high chance we lose this game. If we could score 1 or 2 goals, obviously, in the next period, and they don't give them anything, we could definitely still win this game, but it's going to take a lot of work, so let's see what happens in period number 2. Come on, guys. Please get that next one. Come on, Aiden. I believe in you, man. Hey, Vernarski. Let's go to youngster. Scores to make it 2-1. That's a big goal for Vernarski. They get a huge answer from another top line guy. It's Rosehill. God damn it, man. That top line is taking over. Like I said, if we contain that top line, we have a good chance. But right now, that top line has been dictating the Blues' future with some of these games. And we go to the final third period of maybe Aiden Irving's career. We're down by a pair of goals. Outshooting by 1 shot, but this is not great. Should I jump in and watch some of this third period? I honestly don't know at this point. Maybe we should watch the entire third period. How long is this episode? 35 minutes. I'm trying to think of what I want to do here. Yeah, you know what? We'll jump in and watch this third period. We'll do it. And see if our team could rally. It gives us a little bit of something different. And then also, since, like I said, it's Aiden Irving's final game potentially, we want to obviously see some cool stuff. So let's see if our team could crawl back into it. Since this is Game 7, we'll watch it all. And I will remove my face from here just because I feel like it would be in the way too much. So let's see if we could crawl back into this game down by a pair of goals. We just need 2 goals to get this game tied up, so it's still within striking distance, but we got to act early if we want to get back into it. All right, Ekholm on the draw. Let's see if he can win this. He does not. This is not good. Ekford to lash off. Oh, boy. Yikes. Big save by Kalinin to start the third period. Yeah, that top line is going to be very tough to contain. So we need to make sure our top line can shut them down in this third period and we could get some of our own. See, like, look at that. Eckford leads the league in playoff points with 18, and then I think they said it was, who was the other one? Lashoff was, like, number 2? Or was it Rosehill? Might have been Rosehill. But this top line is really good in St. Louis, and I wouldn't be surprised if they end up winning the cup if they do eliminate us here. Come on, guys, let's get it away. Aaron Kiviharju with it. Throws it to Rosehill. Big save again by Kalinin. Come on, guys. This is a third period. We need to get chances of our own, not give the Blues anything. They are getting close to getting full pressure. Another big save on Lashoff by Kalinin. Oh, man, they almost do have full pressure here. Eckford a shot, and he kind of glitched out, but oh well. Big save there again, and we do escape the pressure. Kavusari with it. Finds it over. Blunden a chance, and there's a big save by Christensen, who has Islanders pads. So he looks a little bit strange, but they do kind of look kind of sick with a St. Louis Blues jersey for some weird reason. All right. Gavin Weeks up there and hits for the Blues, not a surprise. That guy has been pretty aggressive and had some goals early on in the series. So, yeah, the Blues have been getting a lot of offense from the 4 top guys that I was mentioning. Vandermeer over out front. Kavusari denied down close. That was very close. That would have been nice. Because we do still need 2 goals. We don't just need 1. We need multiple. Oh, my goodness. Huge hits in the corner as our team starts to get a little bit antsy here. Ekholm will dump it in. Blunden will skate after it, but he's not fast enough. Keeping with it for the Blues. I guess he's a forward. I thought he was a defenseman, but maybe he's a defenseman still. I honestly don't know. Weeks a shot. Big save there again. Makinen with it. Throws it to Brindamore. Big save again on Brindamore. Oh boy. Come on, guys. Get it away. The pressure is almost full. And we do get it out. No, we do not. Kavanaugh held it in somehow. And another big save by Kalinin. Kalinen's keeping us in this game right now here in the third period. We are kind of scrambling a bit in our own zone. And they almost have full pressure. So we got to win this face-off if we can. And get it out, too. Come on, guys. We have Bickle out there to take this face-off against Carpentier. And he will not win it. So they do get pressure. Keeping over to Goldobin, and he scores. And he just dived down on the ground afterwards. Damn it. Well, that's probably going to write this game off. But I think we'll still watch the third period just because of the chance that Aiden Irving does retire. But that is not great. You knew as soon as they would get pressure that they'd score a goal. And unfortunately, Kalinin just mispositions his glove a little bit, I think, on that one. And it gets by. Oh, man. Yeah, this Blues team, especially that top line, has just been too hard to contain. It really sucks. Because we had a chance to close out this series. I didn't realize this series was going to go to a Game 7. Like I said, I thought it was going to be kind of quick like Saturn Otaku was mentioning. But instead we go to a Game 7, and it looks like this time around we are going to be packing our bags in Game 7 after we won in 7. I have seen that outcome happen before too, but wasn't expecting that in this series. Finley walks in. Huge hit there by Bulbrook, and he does take a charging penalty. Well, we don't need to get into penalty trouble now, too. But that was a huge hit there from Bulbrook, but he does get the charge because of that. I don't know if I would agree with that being a charge. Guess he did stop and then just run out like crazy, but let's see this. Okay, maybe it's a little bit of a charge. It's not the most egregious example, but we don't want to be on the PK here, guys. We just don't. I don't remember if I still have it on the full 2 minutes for PK, because if I do, then maybe we have time to score. Oh, yeah, it is a full 2 minutes. Yikes, that's not good. Well, that makes this episode a lot longer, but you guys get to enjoy some gameplay of NHL 24 before NHL 24 is done, I guess. And we get to maybe see Aiden Irving out there for the final time of his career. Who knows? I really hope he doesn't retire, but at the same time, it would be nice to have that freed up cap space. So if he does retire, at least he goes out with like all those Stanley Cup wins, the Art Ross he had. Like, he's has so much awards that he's definitely, I'd say, a first ballot Channel Hall of Famer. Ooh, yikes, that was a little bit dangerous, that backhand. But it sucks that we're down by 3 goals now. It really does. If we were still down by 2, we'd be definitely in this game, but being down by 3 at this point of the game, I don't see us scoring 3 goals, but you honestly don't know with this game sometimes. Like, the pressure system could change things, so. Oh, nice shot block. I think that was Harrison that blocked that. Another shot block. Our team's still blocking shots even down by 3 goals, so got to give them credit where it's due. Here's Vernarski. He's just going to dump it in. I feel like I should try and get the stuff to change it so it's more, our team's more offensively aggressive, but at this stage I don't even know. Eckford walks in with it, throws it to Rose Hill, and I don't know if that hit a post or it was saved, but that was crazy. That was insane. All right, Vernarski will dump it in again and chase after it. Will he be able to get to it? No, he will not. He's still battling down low, though, which is good. Vernarski looks like he has some good hustle to him. Eckford over to Rose Hill. Big save again. Big rebound, but Kress picks it up. Finds Vandermeer. He finds it over to Marsh. Here's the franchise guy. He's the future cornerstone, maybe, of this team, but he turns it over. Lash off in and with again. Yeah, this top line of the Blues is scary every time they have the puck. Marsh with it now. Our franchise guy. He walks in, shoots it, and Christensen, easy save there. That wasn't that dangerous of a chance. Power play is nearly over for the Blues. Eckford walks in. Vandermeer with some great defense. Rosehill with it. Throws it over to Griffith. Big block. And the power play is nearly over if Kress could get this out, which he does. We managed to kill it off, which is good. Marsh with it now. Marsh trying to get it in, and he cannot get by the defense. Come on, guys. We got to get chances of our own. They've definitely outplayed us this period for sure. Yikes, that was a little bit weird. I don't know why Kalina went for the poke check there, but oh well. Keeping a shot, nice save again. All right, Bulbrook's out there now. He finds Ekholm. Now can we get some offense going? Apparently not. Yeah, this third period's like all St. Louis Blues. We have had some chances, but their power play is definitely giving them some chances. Brindamore with a good chance there after their power plays ended. Weeks with it now. Weeks over, and Makinen turned away as well. Yeah, this hasn't been that fun of a third period to watch. Bickle, Bulbrook with it now. Bulbrook can't get the shot through. Damn, man. I really thought we had a chance to go far this year again. But, I mean, all those cup wins, at least it's been worth it, though, in a sense, though, that our team has been able to get back into the playoffs again and at least do well enough. Like, we definitely are still a good enough team to win more cups, but it's definitely been, like, kind of holding on to this roster for the most part, like the main core. If we saw Jaquezie, would we be better? I honestly have no idea, but who knows? If we had Walter still, would we be better? Probably not, because we decided to upgrade our defense instead. So we're into the final 5 minutes, still down by 3 goals, and have barely had any chances in this period too. So yeah, there's no way we're coming back in this, but we're still going to watch it play out, just because, like I said, Aiden Irving is out there right now. That could be his last shift, as he just gets hit, and we are going to be going to a power play, so maybe that could give us some life. We do have 4:35 left to work, so if I was a coach right now, I'd pull the goalie, but obviously I don't have it on coach mode right now, so we have to let the AI decide on certain things, as Isaiah Brindamore decided to run our captain. It's not great to see, especially with them being up 4-1. You'd think they'd lay off a little bit. But we are off to the power play. Kawasari, Blunden, I believe that's Holmquist, DePenta, and I'm not too sure on who's on the other point. Oh, it's Aiden Irving, of course. Perfect. Let's see if Aiden Irving can maybe score his last goal of his career. That would be something to see. Kawasari walks in, holds up, finds Holmquist turned away. Good chance there. In tight, and they do clear it. And it hit off an elbow and right back into the blue zone. They try to clear it. Blunden knocks it down. Holmquist shoots it. Blocked. We are getting some chances on the power play. Blunden kicks it back, and it's on to Eckford for the Blues, who will just dump it. It's kind of crazy that they have Eckford on the PK as well. Like, he's a franchise player, so it makes sense. He's kind of like Marsh, but a much older version. Kawasari finds Holmquist. Holmquist walks in. Huge save there. Nice chance again for Kawasari. Turned away as our team starts to try and get some pressure. Holmquist with it again. We might actually have pressure soon here. Kawasari. Aiden Irving can't get the shot through. That's a huge shot blocked by the Blues there. Here we are again. Kawasari finds it to Blunden. He finds Holmquist down the middle. Huge save there by their goalie. We do have full pressure, but it's going to be negated quite quickly, unfortunately. Aiden Irving with it again. He's gassed because, of course, he's an old guy, so his energy's probably depleting faster. I honestly don't know if that's a thing even. Oh, it's maybe because he got hit. I don't even know. And that comes out. Our power play is starting to run around a little bit. Marsh to Kawasari. Kawasari walks in, finds Holmquist a chance, and that was a very nice rocket shot, but it missed by a large margin. Carpentier will dump it down. We're into our final 20 seconds of this power play. Haven't been able to get anything past Christensen. Marsh walks in, finds Holmquist. Holmquist can't get the shot. Marsh with a shot, he scores. Okay, it finds onto the franchise guy's stick. And we do get to see the first goal that we've ever seen of Brain Marsh's career. In person. Nice. As he beats Christensen on the glove side. Okay, we're back within 2. So don't say it's over till it's over. But it does suck that they scored a goal in this period. Because if they didn't score that goal from Goldobin, we'd be within 1. And then obviously we could pull our goalie and all that. But being down by 2 goals still is not great. Because we only got 2:45 left. So let's hope that our team can find a way to score 2 goals here relatively quickly. But that's Marsh's 5th goal of the playoffs. He's been much better in the series. And I think in future playoffs he's going to be a lot better than that even. Here's Roloff. Throws it up, and here is Marsh again. He has 1 goal in this period. Can't walk in. He's got it still. Marsh. Look at him battle too, because he's a huge guy. Lost to the Weekstow, who's also a bit of a big guy. And we're almost into the final minute of play. Still down by a pair of goals. Big save there by Kalinin. 58.8 seconds left on the clock. At least it's a slow fit last minute, not like it was before. Like, I don't know why they decided to have accelerated clock before this. It was kind of dumb until that tuner came out. Because accelerated clocks in the final minute just don't make any sense unless you're playing online. Keeping with it gets blocked. Come on, guys. We got to get possession of this puck and get back into their zone. We do not have a lot of time to run around. Bickle got hit by Eckford. No penalty call. Here's Bickle up to Marsh. And we are going to pull the goalie, of course. Marsh finds it over to Bulbrook, and that missed by a long shot, too, as he tried to pick the corner. And that's not good, as Lashoff will walk in. And, of course, Deio don't try to block the shot, but the guy missed. The guy might have pulled a Patrick Steff on there. Who knows? Harrison walks in, shoots it. That's turned away. Loose puck in front, and we cannot get to the rebound. And Kavusari is going to be going to the box. I saw him trip that guy in the corner. And they are going to probably score here, though, because they don't try and block shots. Okay, never mind. They did just block a shot. But Kavusari going to the box with 11.6 has written this game to bed, as we are going to be knocked out in round number 2. That kind of sucks. I thought we would have had a chance to win this series, too. But obviously, like I said, our team just hasn't been able to contain that top line. And that could have made the difference. If we would have been able to contain Eckford and all those guys, we'd be in a much better position, I feel like. But also this team is kind of like falling apart a little bit. But at the same time, some new additions like Marsh have been very promising. Excited for their future. Harrison walks in, and he scores a short-handed goal with 3.7 seconds left. Yeah, if they didn't score a goal literally in this third period, we could have just tied the game there with a short-handed goal. What an individual effort by Matthew Harrison. Wow. All right. We definitely still have a chance to tie this game up, but I don't think it's going to happen. Just not enough time on the clock, but what a shot there. Whew. Yeah, that was a nice little play by Matthew Harrison. I like that play a lot. Like that a lot, but man, if we didn't give up a goal in this damn period, we would have just tied it up there. That would have been insane to see if he would have tied it up there. And now they win the face-off, and yep, that's going to do it. We are going to lose 4-3 in Game 7, unfortunately. We are going to be packing our bags earlier than we wanted to see. I do not like that. Aiden Irving's career is done. Let me just remove my face again for a second, just because there is the Aiden Irving. We'll see him shake hands, maybe for the last time in his career. There we go. Let's just skip through the rest of this, because I don't want to see us shaking hands too much. But, yeah, that kind of is crazy that we could have tied it up if we would have actually not given up that Goldobin goal. So, obviously, it was a good little run in that third period from our team, but I want to take a look at that Harrison goal again quickly, because Harrison really did a really good job here. Like, how far did he skate from? He gets possession of the puck at his blue line, and then he just skates up because he knows there's not a lot of time left on the clock shorthanded. Walks right in, fires a shot, and scores. Yeah, that was nice. And he was very animated about it. I wish it didn't do that thing. I wish I could see him actually celebrate, but it didn't. It just goes all of a sudden like that. But, boom. Alright, let's see if I can get Aiden Irving. This is on Aiden Irving getting back out there for one last time. Just because this could be the last game of his career, so we want to see him out there. See if I can get him to go out there. He's right there right now on the bench. I just want to get a screenshot of him on the ice again for one potentially last time. He's still over there. Come on, let's get to Aiden Irving on the ice. Probably because we were on the PK and stuff like that he wasn't out there, I would assume. But I do want to see him out there on the ice and get a screenshot. It's kind of weird that he doesn't really grow any facial hair in the playoffs. Like, he's kind of an old school guy in that sense. Let's see. Come on, Aiden. Let's get back on the ice. I wish I could just, like, find a specific moment when he was on the ice. Okay, maybe he's on the ice now. Nope, he's at the end of the bench. He's talking to all the people, being a mentor to Blunden, looks like. Love to see that. Love to see that. That's the captain material. Oh, there we go. Now he's on the ice. There's the man, the myth, the legend. Let's get one more screenshot of him and make sure my face is not on screen for the screenshot. Perfect. Let's do that. Bang, and good. All right. So is it the end of Aiden Irving's career? We will find out in this episode. I know it's been a long episode just because I decided to watch the third period, but oh well. Oh well, might as well make this episode a little bit longer. All right, so let's take a look at our stats for the playoffs, and then we'll find out who wins the cup and all those stuff, and also see if Aiden Irving decides to call it quits or not, which might be happening. So in terms of our player stats, in terms of our forwards, Blunden led the way with 13 points. He was actually really good. So I'm very excited to see what Blunden does down the road. He's up to an 87 overall, too. Ekholm was solid at times. Looks like our offense might have dropped off a bit in that round. But we did get some guys scoring, which was nice, like Irving and Marsh. But is this the end of Aiden Irving's career? I'm feeling like it is, because he just dropped down to a 77. If it is, almost 1,300 points. And just under point per game in the playoffs, which is pretty damn awesome. It was a third-round pick, too. So we'll see if he retires. But, yikes. And there's the goaltending. Yeah, cleanup was good, but we just could not win enough, I guess, with him in net still. All right, so there's our player stats. The question now is the St. Louis Blues going to win a Stanley Cup? Like I said, they have not won a cup yet in the series with that top line. This would be their year to do so if they are to get far. So let's see. Will St. Louis win the cup? I feel like they could. I feel like they definitely could. If that top line especially continues to do what they're doing. No, they do not. Minnesota knocked them out in the conference finals and then went on to win the Stanley Cup. And the Calder Cup champions is the Henderson Silver Knights. So who is on the cup-winning Minnesota Wild? Because I don't know if we've played them in the playoffs before. I feel like maybe we did recently, but I don't remember. They took on the Ottawa Senators in the Cup Finals and won in 7. Blues were knocked out in 5 games by the Wild. Jeez. Yeah, the Wild had a really good run. They had a really good run. So what was on Minnesota? Do we have any former players on that team? Because I don't remember. Blum, Reed, Whitney. Don't know any of these guys. Panaye, Lyon, Eddie, Witherspoon, Bolt, Martone, Pakanov, Legacy, Lapalainen. That sounds familiar. Oh, yeah, from Anaheim. That's right. I remember him from Anaheim. Bersinger, Andronov, Manderville. Yeah, I don't know any of these guys at all, to be honest. Huh. So it's a team of players we've never probably played against in the playoffs. That's interesting. So they beat the Ottawa Senators in that Cup Finals. Let's take a look at the awards. So Minnesota wins their first Cup maybe of this entire series. I honestly don't know if they won early on. So it's been now a total of 5 years since we last won a Stanley Cup. Yeah, the window of opportunity to win another cup might be closed. Rangers won the President's Trophy, and it was Minnesota-Ottawa Cup Finals. Peyton Eckford, the Art Ross winner. He was really good. Sanderson, the Hart winner for Tannen, the Norris winner for the Rangers. That's maybe his first career Norris, so that's kind of neat. Brophy for Vancouver wins the Lady Byng. Marsh does win the Calder, which is awesome to see, of course. I'm excited to see what he could do next year, especially considering likely Aiden Irving retires and Marsh will be like that #1 goal-scoring guy for our team probably going forward. Bolt wins the Conn Smythe for Minnesota. Bergqvist won the Vezina for Montreal after we traded him. I forgot about Per Bergqvist, to be honest. Bergqvist. That's kind of funny. So Bergqvist with his second Vezina of his career, and he wins one in his first year in Montreal. That's kind of crazy. He also won the Jennings. Gruel wins the Masterton. Buzik wins the Jack Adams for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Bachman wins the Selke for Vegas. And Angelos Anderson, I think his name is, wins the Lindsay. Eckford the Richard. In terms of the AHL, any awards for our AHL affiliate? No. Oh, wait, actually, yes. Phillips was the best goalie. Him and Lynch were the best goalies in the AHL. That's actually kind of impressive. So I do like that a lot. Love to see it. So there is all that. Let's simulate up to the retirements and all that stuff and get primed up for another off season. I don't know how much longer the series will go, because I know some of you guys want me to do a college football series, so maybe we'll do that soon. But the draft lottery, Tampa wins the lottery, going from 5-1. LA goes from 7-2. Dallas falls from 1-3, and then you have Nashville and New Jersey at 4 and 5. All right. So, did we lose Aiden Irving to retirement? Is the question. No, we did not. Aiden Irving does not want to retire. It's probably because he's getting paid a lot, but he did not retire. He would have been like high up on the list. But in terms of retirements, Matty Beniers retires, Quentin Byfield retires, Zach Benson, Berkeley Catan. Some good players retiring, but I am very surprised Aiden Irving has not decided to call it quits yet. Brady Arnott, don't even know who you are. In terms of left wingers, yeah, see, Aiden Irving did not retire. That's just crazy. Jody Rafalski does retire, though. Former AHL legend, kind of. 13 points in 21 career NHL games. But as an AHLer, this guy was really good. And he retires at 34 only. I would have liked to give this guy a better opportunity in NHL, but he never really developed for the NHL. But still, shout out to Jody Rafalski. In terms of right wingers, nobody important really, actually. I guess Emil Hemming was with us for a little bit, right? He was one of our first trade acquisitions, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he was one of our first trade acquisitions quite early on. And we obviously couldn't hold on to him because of like guys like Aiden Irving. So shout out to Emil Hemming at 546 career points. Tony Yakula is another one, actually. He was one of our other first trade acquisitions. So some of our former guys retiring, but none of our actual roster players retiring, which is kind of funny. But yeah, we also had Yakula for a little bit. We made a trade with Nashville early on. And he was actually a decent-ish player at the AHL level, especially. And then, obviously, his NHL success was kind of limited a little bit. But he was still not bad. Had a career high of 42 points one year. Not bad. So, a couple former guys there. And then, in terms of defenders, any former guys here that retired? Oh, Christian Kyrou retired this year. So, that's a pretty big one. He was a pretty big piece of this team. Won, I believe, maybe a cup with us or two. I honestly don't remember how much, but he was a very long-term Winnipeg Jets player. We brought him in also via trade quite early on. So, a lot of former trade candidates that we brought in. And this year, he actually did go in and play in the playoffs as well. So, he almost won a cup with the Rangers, but didn't. Kiviario retires after going to the conference finals. Was he drafted by the Blues in this? He was. So, he plays his entire career at the St. Louis Blues and doesn't even get a Stanley Cup because... yeah, wow. Alright. That's kind of crazy. That was the furthest run they've had, though, to that conference finals. Any other interesting retirements? Sarenheimo. Who is this, even? Chicago. Gustavo Graham, I think, was ours, too, right? Yeah, I think we had him in the AHL because we acquired him from the Rangers early on, but he never played for our NHL team. So that's kind of an interesting one. Wow. Yeah, I'm really surprised that these are the type of guys that are retiring, and it's not like any guys from our roster. A lot of former guys that we traded for. Hey, even Thomas Nordstrom retired. 1 goal in 2 career games. Wow, all right. He did play sometime with Tucson, but after that, never played an AHL game again. But, wow, I didn't expect him to retire at 34. Shout out to Thomas Nordstrom. Goalies. Any former goalies retired? Does not look like it. So, some former guys retired, but we did not lose Aiden Irving, which is probably the biggest surprise of this entire episode. It's not that we got eliminated. So, boom on that. Continue simulating. Final 15s. Let's take a look at the draft class, the progress reports, and the contract situation. I know we're around an hour of recording this, so I hope that this episode isn't too boring, but let's take a quick look at all this stuff. So, starting off with the contract situation. I don't know how much cap space we're going to have, but who's the big one to re-sign? Roloff. I don't know if Roloff's going to come back. He's going to be probably asking for too much. It's not that bad, to be honest. We might be able to afford him bringing him back, but you also got to think that our RFAs like Waters, Harrison, Holmquist are going to demand a good chunk of money. And then DePenta is also a pending free agent, so DePenta might be gone because he's trying to get like $8 million plus, which is kind of insane. Most of our defensive core is up for renewal. Backer and Crest too. So I need you guys' opinions on who we should let go in terms of defenders, because most of our defensive core is going to be a free agent potentially. But we do have some help coming, like Gustafson from the AHL, so that's exciting. Moreau's might be NHL bound soon too. So excited about that, and at least, but I'm not too sure on who's going to come back. And also Maximus Nash, pending free agent too, so he's probably gone. So final few things, progress reports. Let's see what we got in terms of development. Any good growth from anybody on our team? Looks like Marsh and Blunden are developing. Blunden actually generated an X Factor, which is nice. And Marsh has also gone up quite a bit, which is also great. Obviously, after a 45-goal rookie season, I think he's going to have a really good year ahead. That's my guess. And yeah, Aiden Irving continues to drop off a cliff. Not a surprise. Holmquist is getting some growth. So some positives, some negatives. And then in the system, a lot of our low elites and stuff like that are still continuing to develop, which is good. Will all of them make it? Probably not, but there's a chance that some of them will. Gustafson is actually listed as a top 6, so he could be in our defensive core next season for sure. Yeah, I think he might get a good opportunity, especially with some guys leaving the team. So that is basically all of that. What about our goalie prospects? Lynch is getting some growth as a medium elite. Phillips, no growth whatsoever. That kind of sucks. Oh well. So there's that. And final thing, the draft class. I don't really know anything about this draft class, so I'm curious on that. We are drafting at number 28 this year. We do have multiple seconds, multiple thirds, multiple fourths, fifth, sixth, and seventh. Interesting. Is there anything worth drafting at 28th overall, or should we be trading our picks this year? It looks like a pretty normal draft based on the top 5. But at 28th, is there anything crazy to steal? Crosby, top 6 probably, or top 9. Ooh, a medium top 6 in the first round, or medium 9. Yikes. Yeah, this draft class might not be that good. So we might want to think about trading away. Like, look at this guy. He's potentially being like a late first round talent. I don't really know if there's worth a player. Like, there is this Trey Kessel guy who's a top 6. But I don't know if it's worth taking anybody in this draft class. This Bearable guy could be intriguing. He is 2 years out only as a goalie. So we will pin him in case. Because that seems kind of interesting. But it's... Wait, Laline? 2 years out guaranteed. That's kind of intriguing. So there is some interesting players, but I honestly don't know what they are in terms of potential. Goddard's 4 years out, but he could be low elite. Yeah, this draft class might actually have some okay steals, but it's hard to kind of get a good read on the class in general. So there's that. And that's going to do it, guys, for this episode of our Winnipeg Jets franchise mode. So in next episode, we will take it to the draft and re-sign stage. We'll try and maintain this roster pretty much as possible. The defensive core might be completely different next season, which means this team might fall off a little bit. So I'm not really too sure on what our team's going to look like fully next season. But I know the offense core is pretty much already set in stone, I would assume. The defensive core, though, might be completely up in the air of like some guys like Gustafson, who's just coming up to the NHL, and some other free agent defensemen. And maybe bringing back a couple other guys if we could afford them. But honestly, we might not have a lot of cap space, which is not very good. So anything down below, and I'll see you guys next time.